A very good afternoon to you, Ananta. How are you?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Fine, sir. All fine, sir.
Okay, good. We'll wait for another 1 minute's time.
No
Yeah,
problem, sir.
right?
No problem, sir.
Yeah.
No problem.
Devang has also joined. Good. We'll wait for Suraj, right? Suraj, rather. Suraj, we'll wait for him. And immediately we'll start by 12:01. Even if he do not join, we won't be wasting the time. Okay? अरे सुनील भेटले का कॅलेंडर कॅलेंडर आहे का
नाही तो बनवलं नाही याच्याकडून म्हणजे तारीख पाहिजे ते पुढच्या वेळेस तारीख हॉलमध्ये 27-28
Fine. Anyway, Ananta and Devang, good afternoon to both of you once again. And let us start with our session. In fact, we're going to continue with whatever we have left for the last session, right? This is what we started with, business plan outline. And in this, as I said, market analysis forms a very important component because as a startup, to launch anything new, and to start anything new, right? Particularly I'm talking about business. You need to do a proper market analysis, and finding out the target market forms the important part. And for that, we were discussing all these 7 P's, which forms the important component of this market analysis. In fact, we were discussing about the marketing and sales strategy, which forms the part of marketing analysis. Not directly, but once the marketing analysis is done, the organization decide on what exactly is going to be the marketing and sales strategy. So that is why I took you to the earlier session, right? Because this thing, these 7 P's I have not discussed in detail also, which need to be discussed at depth with thorough discussion also, because that is how I'll come to know whether you are following it or not. So Ananta, I hope you followed these 4 P's, first 4 P's yesterday, and how to draw strategy out of it, right? Both marketing as well as sales strategy. As I said, strategy is nothing but a planning, right? A formal planning where you think not only short term, you think long term as well, right? So it includes everything. It includes all the components. Strategy का meaning ही वो होता है. And see, this word has come out from the military, as I said earlier. I do not know whether I talked with you or not. Just a defensive strategy, attacking strategy. This word, it originated in when the World War II took place, 1945. So बहुत सारे जो ये रहती थी, फौज रहती थी, they had a defensive strategy. Many of them have attacking strategy, and this is how the word has come out, right? And this was nicely taken up by marketing people, because here again it is sort of war only, right? Competition is fearsome, there's a tough competition, so that's why this particular word is being used in marketing, and it is used very often. आप हर जगह देखोगे कि people will talk about strategy. What is going to be my pricing strategy? What is going to be my promotion strategy? Particularly talking about this 4 P's, right? So this 4 P's forms the very important component of the 7 P's. So what was left out was this remaining 3 P's, which are directly related to services, which we have just touched yesterday. And let me explain you this in brief, because Suraj was more keen on knowing what is physical evidence. In fact, I have touched that also yesterday. So people, as I said, peoples are the employee. People are the interface of the organization with so many stakeholders. It can be the supplier, it can be creditors, it can be whatnot. It can be the shareholders, it can be customers, right? So it depends. Who are the stakeholders, and with whom this particular people means employee over here, with whom these people are interacting, they forms the very important component, especially in service. The reason is very simple, because they are the brand ambassador, right? No, see, customer might not get a chance to come and visit your organization, right? And see for themselves how your organization is functioning. For that matter, the shareholders also. So these are the interface where like customer care executives. Now once they talk with the person who is aggrieved, who is having grievances, these are the person who are going to resolve the issues. So It entirely depends how these people interact, how these people create a goodwill amongst the stakeholders. As I said, stakeholders are all those people.
Sir, can you give me a minute, sir?
Yes, Devang, please.
Sir, if you are going to discuss the P's afterwards, then can I log out? I have already do it.
No issue. See, Devang, in that case, fine. Anyway, what we can do, because this was the demand of Suroj, right? I'll shift to financial. Don't worry. Don't log out because he's not there. Let me go to the strategies we want to be discussing. Let me directly go to the business plan. See, in case if you have some certain emergency, then definitely you can log out, but you stay if this is being a repetition to you, because if Saroj comes out, then definitely I'll talk to him. At that case, at that point, you can log out. But we'll continue with this.
They have access to video recordings. No? They can see that.
Yeah. Fine, right. No issue. Fine. No issue. Yeah, that is good. In fact, we can move ahead. We need not wait for anybody, because all of we know we are busy people, and video recordings are always available. Fine. Thank you, Devang. Thank you for the suggestion. So let us see. Before I move ahead, market analysis both ho gaya. Fine. There is something like financial request or financial analysis. Request is something different, but financial projections are also there, which can be cash projection. So before I move into this particular domain, I'd like to show you few small videos, because Ananta, he do have a lot of expertise on this, but three important things which I'd like to show you also, which business plan 2 talks about, that is cash flow projection, and there is income statements, that is profit and loss, and balance sheet. These are the three important things which any entrepreneur or any startup team should be knowing about this, right? Even though they will not be having an expertise, they need not be CA themselves. They can always take a help of the experts. They can hire the expert. But three important videos are there which I like to share, and then we'll have a small discussion on this, right? First, I'll like to show you a video on cash flow. Okay, these are income. Yeah, cash flow. And this thing, Ananta, I'd like your contribution, plenty of contribution, particularly when see, these are very simple terms, and we as an entrepreneur should be knowing about all this thing, right? So let me start it for you people. Just a minute. Yes.
Cash flow refers to the movement of cash into or out of an account of business.
Ananta, is it visible? Devang, the video is visible to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Or an investment. When cash inflows exceed outflows, this is generally considered to be a sign of good financial health, both for individuals and companies. Ed makes his living running Ed's Carpets. For Ed, cash flow is essential to the survival of his business, as well as his personal finances. Having ample cash on hand ensures that Ed can pay his employees, his creditors, and himself on time, keeping the business afloat. The same goes for Ed. He needs enough cash in his personal bank account to pay for his house, his car, and other personal expenses. Whether we are talking about Ed or his business, there are generally 3 types of cash flows. 1. Operational cash flows refer to cash received or spent as a result of a company's business activities. For example, a business like Ed's Carpets brings in cash by selling carpets and sends cash out to pay employees and suppliers. Similarly, Ed pays himself a salary, providing cash flow to his personal account. Cash will flow out to pay for his expenses such as food and housing. 2. Investment cash flows refer to cash received or spent through investing activities, basically the purchasing and selling of assets that will help grow the business, or in the case of Ed, assets that will help increase his net worth. 3. Financing cash flows refer to cash received through debt or paid out as debt repayments. For a company, issuing stock, paying down debt, and repurchasing shares would count as part of financing cash flows. For Ed, financing cash flows include any cash coming from loans or other types of debt, as well as payments going to pay down debts. If Ed's business comes up short on cash and is unable to pay its obligations, it will experience a cash flow crunch. To avoid insolvency, Ed will have to arrange some type of financing or bridge loan. A similar situation in Ed's personal accounts would also have disastrous effects that could lead to personal bankruptcy if the cash flow crunch persisted. For this reason, it is important that businesses and individuals manage their cash flow carefully and set aside emergency reserves to cushion any unexpected events.
Fine, that is all for this video. What have you followed? In fact, after this I'll be showing you one on income statement and one on profit and loss, right? These are two which are remaining, one on balance sheet. Okay. So the principle or the fundamental for cash flow is very simple. If we talk about individual, if you are a salaried person, then whatever, revenue is what? Your salary that you are receiving in your account, deducting all those things, deducting taxes and whatever payments you are supposed to make, particularly PF account is there, PF payment is there, which has to be done by everybody, right? And whatever comes to your bank, cash in hand also we call it, and your expenditure, it is simple as that. जो भी आपको मिल रहा है, whatever you are earning, maybe apart from the regular salary, you may be earning through other sources also. Like maybe you have invested somewhere, right? Maybe in stock market, shares, right? So that is also counted as a cash flow. If you are selling those stock and you are earning a profit, that will be counted as the cash inflow, which we can say in terms of organization as revenue. And whatever expenditure that takes place, it may be on the EMI which you are paying for your housing loan. It can be the educational loan which you might have availed. So revenue minus expenditure will be the net cash that will be in your hand, right? Talking from the organization point of view, let me take you to the slide. Right? Just a minute. So this is all talks about marketing only. In fact, here it is, cash flow. Yeah. So the term cash flow refers to the net amount of cash and the cash equivalent being transferred in and out of the company, right? So individually we can talk about salary, we can talk about the other earnings, like as I have given you the example of shares. But from company's point of view, it can be availing a blank loan also, which will amount to cash inflow, right? And cash outflow for the loan taken can be EMI, which the individual or which the organization, which the management is paying for the loan or debt we bolte hain usko, debts are availed, right? So it includes, inflow means जो भी पैसा आ रहा है, outflow is like payment to your suppliers, right? Payments to your vendors, payments to your employees, whatever expenses, recurring expenses like electricity, water bills. The expenses can be in various heads. Am I right, Ananda? Whatever I am saying. So it is very simple, simple economics, right? Or simple. The principle is very simple. Whatever is going to come in and whatever is going to come in, that is your cash inflow, and what goes out in is cash outflow. And why this cash outflow is important? See, the video has clearly explained that. In fact, I have pasted that video here also in the PPT, which you can see afterwards if you want to. You need not go to the links. All you have to do is just click here. Since this is PDF, it won't be running, but in PowerPoint it's going to run. So what are the repercussions? See, if cash inflow reduces and if cash outflow is greater than cash inflow, then that will lead to what? That will lead to cash crunches, right? There will be shortfall for what? Maybe payment to your employees, salary समय पे नहीं दे पाओगे आप, your what suppliers, right? Then all recurring, non-recurring expenses and operating. See, they have talked, one keyword they have used was operating cash flow. Something you need as a working capital to procure the raw material, to produce the good or services, right? It can be hotel industry, as I said, there are plenty of examples. So you procure the raw material, right? And you produce the goods and you sell those goods in the market, right? If the cash inflow is lower than cash outflow, then definitely it will impact is on the major impact will be on your operating expenses, which includes working capital. Working capital is needed by all the organization to run the organization. It's simple as that. If they are not producing or manufacturing the goods or services, how are they going to make revenue? How are they going to earn profit? So first thing that is going to hamper is the operating expenses, right? कि बिजली का बिल ही नहीं भर पाए आप, your electricity bill is pending for 3 months or 4 months, then that is going to have a very adverse effect on all your services. It can be goods, it can be services, right? Employee employees relation will turn sour, right? They won't feel comfortable working because their salary is not going to come on time. So as an entrepreneur, you should be knowing all these things. And usually in your project report, why I am discussing this is, usually in the business plan, it is ideally 3 years के projection दिए जाते हैं. Ideally, projection, cash inflow projection for 3 years you should include. You can take it further also. 5 साल 10 साल के भी दे सकते हैं. But it's very hard to predict what exactly will happen after 5 years or 10 years. You can always predict कि this is the product I am going to launch, and this much of revenue I am expecting in first 6 months, right? Biannual, first financial year, right? This is what will I expect in the second year. And once you are able to calculate the revenue, obviously you can calculate the gross profit and net profit. So that is the relevance. So this will give the stakeholders a confidence that your business is going to grow slowly, maybe slowly and steadily. First year probably you are going to earn this much because plenty of investment is going to go in other things. But slowly, maybe second year you can achieve a break even. Third year you can show that you are going to achieve the profit. It depends what sort of enterprise you are planning, right? Enterprise is again a word which is synonym to the organization. So किस type की enterprise you want to set up, it will depend what will be your break even. So based on this cash flow you can decide on the break even also. What will be ROI? Second word is ROI also. Return on investment. Whatever you have invested in the business, including everything, right? Including your capital expenditure, including the expenditure on other thing, right? Recurring expenses, I would say. So ये कब अपन वसूल कर पाएंगे? When will that amount come back to me? So this is needed to convince the investors or bankers to give you the loan, right? Because if they know for sure that in 2 years or 3 year times it is going to come back, fine. But it is based on your projection. They will be asserting कि इतना आप pay कर पाओगे, because once you avail the loan, your EMI is going to start. That is for sure, right? So you can delay those EMI right at the start. You can say you charge me after 2 years, charging the interest because my cash flow, my profit is going to start generating after first year or second year, right? So that is the relevance of cash flow. Ananta, am I clear in this? Devang?
Yes.
And this see, you need not go in depth. As a CA, you can hire for other things, how to put it down, how to draw the projection. Again, it is simple mathematics. Let me show you the diagram for that also. See, this is cash flow, and this is what cash flow projection looks like. The revenue and expenses, simple as that. You deduct the expenses from the revenue, you get the cash flow. 2020, 2021, here they have taken it for 4 years, 4 financial years, and here you can see it is slowly growing. It will not be case every time, but usually this is what is expected. Linearly, the graph should grow. Maybe parabolic it can go, maybe it can be exponential in nature also. It depends on what is your enterprise, what exactly you would like to start, and who are your target market. Plenty of things comes into picture. That's why. And this is how you are supposed to put. Nothing means, and in simple terms, which can be easily followed by the investors. Maybe all of them are not financially that good, right? But most of them are, because they are investing the money. So you can put it in this simple word, right? Here they have given the projection of customers also. How the customers are going to grow. First year it was 15, and the 3 years down the line it has almost doubled. So accordingly your cash flow has grown, right? It has not doubled because revenue and expenses you have to take into account, right? So next what we can study is what is income statement. Income statement is one of the 3 important financial statements. See, that's why in our syllabus this 3, cash flow, income statement and balance sheet is given. And you should not, as I said, you should not be at all expert. You should be able to read it, so nobody fools you around, and at least when it comes to interaction you should be able to talk on this. you should be able to convince the stakeholders that this is what we are expecting and this is how the cash flow is going to come and this is what is the income statement. So income statement is one of the three important financial statements used for reporting a company's financial performance over a specific period, with the other two statements being balance sheet and statement of cash flow. Cash flow we have studied, right? So next thing we are studying is income statement, and the third one what is important is balance sheet. So this three will take care of drawing a business plan, right? बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाना है. Then ledger, how to write a ledger and all the accounting things. You can always hire accountant. You can always take a help of the CAs, right? Expert who will be doing it for you, because practically it is not possible for a single person to poke down into all these things, right? So also known as profit and loss statement. Income statement is nothing but profit and loss statement, or the statement of revenue and expenditure, right? And how does it look like? See, income and stats, income, what is income statement? It will have what? Revenue, income, gross profit, you deduct the taxes, cost of goods sold, expenses, and net income or net losses, right? So here also we'll see a small video which will clear your doubts, right? So this website, in fact, you can also refer to this Investopedia. It's a wonderful website, particularly for our subject, because plenty of terms are explained through videos also.
The income statement is a report that measures a company's financial performance over a specific accounting period. This statement is also known by a number of other names: profit and loss statement and earnings statement. Publicly traded companies must produce income statements along with balance sheets and cash flow statements for each quarter and each year in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. The income statement shows a company's revenue, expenses, and net profit from both operating and non-operating activities. It lists the company's net sales, cost of sales, gross income, selling, general and administrative expenses, special or extraordinary items, and other income and expenses, which then reveals the company's gross profit, operating profit, pre-tax profit, and after-tax profit. The income statement is divided into two parts: the operating and non-operating sections. The operating section shows the revenues and expenses associated with the company's regular business activities. In the non-operating section, the company reports any revenues or expenses not directly related to its regular operations, such as the sale of investments. Generally, investors look to the income statement in hopes of seeing an increase in revenue or net sales and a decrease in expenses. The less money a company has to spend and the more money it earns, the more profitable it is.
Yeah, so that is all for this income statement. As I said, this is also called as profit and loss, right? So I hope you have followed this also, because this is again nothing similar to our cash flow, but here what is taken into account is detail. All detailing is done in terms of revenue, operating revenue and non-operating revenue, right? And as this video has said, non-operating can be something like if you are selling your real estate. For example, if you are having a plot which you have purchased along with the plant you have started, so that is something which is coming out of non-operating. And operating, in simple term, it means whatever in revenue or income you are generating through the sales of the goods or services which you have offered, which you have said that this is what I am going to produce. Maybe it can be good, as I said, services or idea. So whatever revenue is coming, right? Based on that revenue, you will be having gross profit. You deduct the taxes, you get what? Net income, right? And expense, on expenses side, as you know, it can be operating expenses similar to what we have, like revenue income statements. Expenses can be operating and non-operating, right? Something which like operating can be everything and everything, like procurement of raw material or then repairs of machines, right? Because that is related to operating of or producing the goods, whatever goods you are going to produce. But non-operating can be something if you want to purchase something, right? If you know you have sold a plot and you want to expand again, so you are rebuying the plot somewhere else, right? Because that plot was having an ideal location. So that is non-operating expenses. So this particular income statement will give you clear picture, and what that video said, it's simple. Revenue should always keep on increasing and your expenses should keep on decreasing. This is what ideally an investor will look at this statement from this angle कि revenue over a period of time बढ़ते जा रहा है क्या और expenses कम होते जा रहे हैं, because economics of scale says that expenses are going to reduce as you keep on operating, because you get certain efficiencies in terms of operations, right? In terms of other things, in terms of procurement of raw material, for example. Earlier you are purchasing in small quantities. Now you have a good rapport with the supplier. You can purchase the thing on credit or maybe at larger discount, because now your revenue has increased as the demand for your raw material has increased. So obviously your expenses should ideally go down as the time goes by. And this is what an investor or a banker would like to see as your business start operating. And this will be only when the business start operating, right? Cash flow projection, you can very well in advance you can talk about it. This can be also be talked, but actual picture will come when actually see, this can be also be projected, but the actual picture the investors will come to know once you start operating. The third most important thing in financial terms is nothing but balance sheet. Now balance sheet in itself says there has to be balance between assets and liabilities. Isn't it, Ananta? Asset and liability both has to be balanced, and to say if you total down the assets side, which is usually on the left side, and liability side, which is usually on the right side, the total of both should match. अगर asset अगर मेरे 10 लाख है तो मेरी liability भी 10 लाख दिखनी चाहिए. We'll take a look at this video also, but before this, let us read out the definition. The term balance sheet refers to a financial statement that reports a company's assets and liabilities and the shareholders' equity at a specific point of time. Right? Balance sheet, all of you know, is usually prepared at the end of financial year, probably before the financial year ends. So balance sheets provides the basis for computing the rates of returns for the investors and evaluating a company's capital structure. In short, balance sheet is the financial statement that provides a snapshot of what a company owns and owes. Right? Asset means what they are owning, what they are the owner of it, and owes means what are the liabilities, right? To whom are they expected to pay, as well as the amount invested by the shareholders. Shareholders का amount भी इसमें आएगा. Let us take a detailed look at how does this balance sheet looks like. Okay, just a minute.
A balance sheet is a statement of net worth. It's broken up into 3 sections: assets, liabilities, and equity. A equals L plus E. Meet Joe. Joe goes to the bank and gets a small business loan. The bank gives him cash. On the balance sheet, his liabilities increase by the size of the loan and his assets increase by the same amount. The balance sheet remains in balance. Joe uses the cash to buy a truck and start his own pizza delivery service. His cash assets decrease, but that's balanced by an increase in his other assets, a new truck. As Joe delivers pizza, the profits are recorded in the balance sheet as retained earnings in the equity section of the balance sheet. The cash from his profit is recorded in the assets section, balancing out. Every month, Joe makes a payment against his loan. He reduces his liabilities by the amount of the payment, and his cash is reduced by the same amount. To find out his business's worth, Joe subtracts liabilities from his assets. This equals the net worth of his business.
So I hope all of you follow. See, this is a very common term which is used, net worth. What is the net worth of your organization? So it's going to be assets minus liabilities. See, ज़्यादा loan रहा, we call it debt, right? Loan or debts also. So if it is more than the investors, see why this balance sheet is important. If your this liability side is more, right? If you avail too much of loan, like Reliance is a good example. Now they are debt free. Isn't it, Ananta? They tried to make their organization debt free.
Yes, yes.
They are not having any of the liabilities on their organization. So what happened if you don't have liabilities? It is very simple. You have plenty of scope to expand, right? You have plenty of scope to produce more, stack more. reduce your prices and be very competitive in the market. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Most of your earnings, right? Most of your earnings are going to go where? In repaying these loans or debts, we call it. And debts doesn't come for free. In fact, there is certain interest attached to it. So most of your earning will be eaten away by these debts, right? Or loans we call it in our terms. तो अपने को देखना है कि I should be debt free. EMI is fine. EMI is talking about individuals or personal. We often avail what? The housing loan, because we get the benefit of what? Benefit in our income tax, right? We have that, we can avail those benefits. But here probably what company has to take it from the bankers, or there are plenty of instruments that are available. I won't be going into detail of it. Ananta is quite an expert on that. Ananta may throw light on that. But there are plenty of outlets which are available to avail these loans. But it comes at a cost. You are supposed to pay. It can be a short-term debt. It can be a long-term debt, right? And accordingly, the interest rate will vary. Probably for the short term, it's going to be on higher side, and long term, it's going to be a bit lower compared to short term, right? But if you have this burden on you, then the investors are going to shy away, because if this side is largely imbalanced, if plenty of debts and loans are there, then even the company is doing good, the profit side shows or the revenue side shows they are earning so much, but most of the revenues or profit is going in repaying these debts. So ideally this has to be zero, ideally, which we have plenty of examples, like Reliance I quoted just now. So most of the organizations, they will try to get rid of these liabilities, right? So and see to it that their asset increases over a period of time. And the reason, as I said, is very simple. Whatever profit they want to make, they can keep it for themselves. They can distribute it to the shareholders or stakeholders in terms of dividend, bonuses, and whatnot, right? So that can be repaid, and the investors will be more interested in investing in this type of company rather than a company which is having this liability side very, very heavy, right? So this is all about these three terms. And any doubt in this, Devon? You have anything to ask? Fine. So
No, sir, I'm all right.
okay, fine. So we started yesterday with this business plan, and as I said, I tried to include most of the thing, excluding what? Let me take you to that also. ये मैं बाद में लूँगा. I'll need another session for this elevator speech. What is that? I'll be talking on that. How to pitch your idea, your concept in front of the investors, right? Pitching your idea, like convincing. It is like pursuing the stakeholders that you be partner with us, right? How to create a strong press. See, this is more of presenting your this entire thing includes presenting your business plan to the stakeholders. As I said, stakeholders can be a supplier also. You have to convince that you are a good company. You can be assured about the payment once the supplier supplies a good in terms of raw material. They should have that assurity, right? In that case only they'll give you certain thing on credit, and which is very desperately needed by most of the businesses. You cannot keep directly investing all your expenses in the operating profit. You need to have something what is called as cash in hand, which is very much important for all sort of contingencies, emergencies, and to repay something which comes all of a sudden in an emergency, right? So this we'll be discussing afterwards, because this is something, once you are ready with this business plan 1 and 2, which is nothing but business plan only, deliberately we have splitted it so that it can be followed from the perspective of, as I said, marketing and finance. But finance, this if you can follow these three terms, they are very simple in nature. Probably you can confidently talk with the stakeholders that this is what we are, this is how we expect the cash flow to come in, and this will be our the income statement and balance sheet. Ultimately, most of the investors would like to take a look at your balance sheet, which will give them the true picture of what exactly is happening in the organization. Cash flow may be cash flow may not make the thing very clear, because they may be at a time dicey because cash flow to both dikh raha hai, but you are not aware about what are the debts or the loans available, right? So balance sheet will give you an ideal, a true picture of the company's condition, right? So this has to be followed, and as I said, let us go to this is, I think we have covered with Ananta, no, not Ananta, Devang. Ananta, you can do one thing. I have already discussed all this thing with Devang. You can just go through the videos. Okay? So what, so this is cash flow, as I said, business plan. Basic facts on the financial for preparing the business plan. So this gives in a nutshell all the three terms which we have discussed right now. Income statement, cash flow and balance sheet, right? Balance sheet talks about assets and liabilities and net worth, and income statement talks about revenue and expenses. Combining this together, you can come out with a cash flow. What exactly? And cash flow we have seen already. Okay. So here actually we have covered what? This part. Let us have some discussion on our further topic because we have time with us right now. So let me take you to the how to make an effective business plan presentation. Now I want some ideas from your end how it can be done. It's not at all difficult. We all are doing it every day. Every day the student is doing it, the teacher is doing it, the business people are doing it. What are the effective? How to make an effective business plan presentation? Because for this there are plenty of ideas, plenty of things which can be done. So what is your go on this? What are your ideas on this? Ananta, Devang, can you suggest few of them? So let me make it again very simple for all of you people. Suppose we are talking to an angel investor, right? So how ideally as an entrepreneur, how are you going to make this business plan presentation? Because this is very important, getting to them, communicating them, taking their time. See, this is all part of presentation, I would say. And then actually presenting them. So what can be, see, our syllabus talks about it. Let me show you this also. They said like animated videos. These are a few of the things, but we can go beyond this also. We can include many other things. Strong presentation, building a strong presentation is said, because this I need not, this we can discuss it out कि मैं कैसे बना सकता हूँ. Summary भी बोला है, executive summary we know it is needed when you are going to put a business plan in front of the stakeholders, right? So what can be different ideas apart from PPT? PPT we all know it is there, right? Which I just know, which we are taking a look at it. It can be through static PPT like this. What can be other things?
Feasibility study.
Yes, Ananta, pardon me.
Feasibility study.
Feasibility study, right? This is what is included here. Let me take you directly over here. Feasibility study will come where? It will be part of market analysis, right? How viable it will extend from here. It won't be directly part of it. How viable your business is, but my question is, how are you going to present it? I mean to say whether it, let us be individual now. For example, Ananta wants to start something, right? For example, let us take an example of what? He wants to prepare fruit pulps, right? The drink from fruit pulps. So how ideally he should, and to whom should you approach? Let us take it as a case study. And how should you present it? And who will be your stakeholders? I've quoted you one product, fruit pulps. It can be orange pulp, it can be mango pulp, and who will be your stakeholders? Who will be your supplier, Ananta? Can you?
Supplier could be farmers basically.
Exactly.
I can approach directly the farmers.
Directly the farmers. Even you can talk to the traders because they might provide you people who are procuring the goods or the produce from the farmer. Ideally, it should be you can directly talk to the farmers. But if you are lacking time, if you want to purchase the quantity in bulk, and ideally a single farmer is not able to deliver you that much, you can approach the trader, right? because trader he can understand you better than a farmer, ideally speaking, if your requirement are large. But if you have time and if you want the organic sort of things, nowadays it's a fashion, not fashion, it's a need actually. All of you know that, right? It's a need in fact. So you can approach the remote farmers, but for that you will need a team. You cannot do it alone, right? Because farmers, you know, the land holdings are limited for individual farmers, right? So you have to rope in plenty of farmers. Maybe 10 farmers से नहीं होगा, आपको हो सकता है you have to talk more than 10, maybe 100 or more than that. It depends what is your projection, right? What is your sales projection? How much you are expecting as a sales? Accordingly you will procure, right? कि मुझे पता है कि पहले साल में जो ऑरेंज पर पल्प बना रहा हूँ, I can sell only 1 lakh of the units, bottles I would say, 1 liters bottle for example, right? Accordingly I'll procure, accordingly I'll approach the farmers or maybe the traders. Traders would be right to start with, because there you might get certain credit facility also if you are able to make a good presentation. Will the PowerPoint presentation do over there? If you're talking to farmers, let us split it into cases. No, exactly. So probably what you'll do, you'll try to, instead of English, you'll try to print out something in your local language, right?
Vernacular.
Yeah, vernacular language also we call it. For example, Karnataka, it will be Kannada, right? And I'll be going and carrying a executive summary. Probably farmer is not going to read your entire report. It is for sure. He do not have that much of time also, and he do not have that much of knowledge also to study your project report in detail. He's not a banker, he's not the investor. Probably investors are clever when it comes to finance part, right? Project part. So what you will do, probably you may carry a leaflet also, right? A colored leaflet which will is very attractive and which can explain the animated sort of thing, pictures and not animated exactly, graphics. You can put graphics in your leaflet and you will be carrying that. See, this is part of business plan and this is part of unit 6. So when I talk to a farmer, obviously it has to be in English, won't do, even Hindi for that matter. If I'm going in south, maybe Hyderabad, Andhra, Telangana, right, Kerala, and even in Maharashtra, you necessarily have to speak in Marathi. Maybe at a time people may not follow Hindi that good, right? We all know, everybody of us see the Hindi movie, but still reading Hindi is going to be difficult. So ideally what I'll do, I'll talk in Marathi if I'm trying to trap the market in Maharashtra. So this is part of presentation. So you cannot call them to a 5-star hotel that fine, I'm going to give a presentation on how to manage, I'm going to manufacture pulp, so I want you to be my supplier, right? They won't be coming, they won't be interested to come and visit to you for your presentation in a hotel. Probably you can sit, उनके जो नुक्कड़ बोलते हैं या चौराहे बोलते हैं जो villages में रहते हैं, वहाँ पे बैठ के you can just call the farmers across कि भाई साहब आइए, I would like to talk to you on the business plan which I am planning, right? And I want you to supply me so much of oranges or mangoes, for example, if your product is mango pulp, right? So this is very important. You should be able to know. See, that is your target audience. Not as a customer, but as a supplier, that is your target audience. And maybe your target audience in terms of customers will be whom? कौन purchase करेगा pulp? Usually, who is going to purchase it? A middleman, a lower middle class, or a people who are into service. Both the couples are into service. Ideally, it will be somebody who don't have time, right, to purchase the fruit and to peel it out, oranges, and then to eat those oranges, right? They'd like to have it ready-made, even though it may do not have those health benefit. We all know it. Fruits has to be eaten raw only. It is proven, right? Fruit ideally should not be eaten as a juices or pulp. Pulp तो भी चल जाएगा एक बार. Juices में उसका पूरा health benefits निकल जाता है. We all know it, right? It is proven, and ये juices वगैरह तो अभी आया. Earlier it was not there. Fruit has to be eaten, right? So we all know that. So again, target audience, why I am telling you all this is, my target audience will be people, or the customers will be somebody who don't have time to go to a market, purchase the fruit, then store it, or maybe then peel it out, right? Somebody, both the couples are working, they don't have time. They'll go in a retail shop or maybe a mall, right? and purchase those bulbs, right? And stack it in the freeze. They can consume it for a week's time or maybe 2 weeks time, depends how much is the base use date, right? Every bulb will be having base to use, and 1 महीने में consume करना है 15 दिन में. So this is how, and for them, for the customer, your business plan is again going to differ. How it is going to differ? If you want to convince the customers, then ideally you may go for a seminar in a hotel, maybe not very expensive, or maybe you create a entire concept, not a business proposal, because business proposal is not needed there. You have to talk about the benefits of your product, how it is going to help, and how organic it is. You can emphasize on that. You getting me, Ananta and Devang, both of you?
Yes.
Yeah, so business plan necessarily is not going to be only for the investors, but investors is going to be a very comprehensive thing, because they would like to know and see. Talking to suppliers is again part of business plan, and talking to customers will be again part of business plan. Business plan do not only mean that you have to talk to investors or to the bankers, right? But when somebody is going to shell out the money for you, when somebody is going to sponsor you, and say finance you, not sponsoring is something different, finance your venture, then you have to be very convincing. You need to have all the details done minutely, right? All the intricacies to be worked out properly. So there, ideally, it will be in English. Do you agree with me on that? When you are talking to an investor or when you are talking to a banker, ideally your business plan is going to be English, right?
Yes.
Hardly is there any scope for vernacular language, right? And hardly, provided vernacular may come when you are borrowing money from a money lender, probably who is साहूकार जो बोलते हैं अपन, who in Marathi language it is said as
लोकल मनी लेटर.
हाँ, तो जो कोई गांव में रहता है, ये जो hand over you personal loan or personal finance, probably there you can talk in vernacular language. But since you are a professional, you will try to avail the debts or loans from the investors or the bankers. And communicating with bankers, you again can go with your laptop, put a nice PPT presentation, taking into account all these angles, right? ये जो सारे चीज़ें हैं, you will start with the executive summary. First you will show that, and you will read their faces. You will read whether they are liking it, whether they are showing the interest, and then only you can take it further. And that is the purpose of executive summary. We were talking about executive summary. So even to investor, you will be showing the executive summary first. In a nutshell, summary is what? Everything in a nutshell. Putting all this 8 things together in a nutshell will be your executive summary. It may run in 2 pages, or ideally it should not go beyond 3 or 4 pages. Ideally executive summary should fit in 1 page only. एक page दे दिया जाए, the person should be able to, he don't have to turn around also, right? A single page should ideally give the picture of what exactly is there in your business plan. And if they find it interesting, if they see the product to be good, appealing, right? If they see the market for it, which you are supposed to put in executive summary, and reading their minds, you can move further. So presentation for the investor, as I said, will be ideally through a PPT presentation, nicely prepared. Maybe you can carry an assistant, because you see, ultimately you have to impress the investor and the banker. It's simple as that. You have to show that I am confident that I am going to run this venture. I'm dead confident on it. I know this is going to be a success. And see, everybody, all ventures are meant to be success. Nobody wants it to be a failure. So ideally you can carry your team also, not a crowd. Maybe you can go in 3. So this is all part of presentation. And no book ideally would talk on this. कई किताब में होगा, I do not know. But this is our personal experience, right? This is based on the experience which we have. So you can carry a person from a finance background who can talk in detail on that, somebody from the marketing, and you as a startup, you as the entrepreneur, you will be presenting all this thing. Whenever you feel that you are stuck up or something more detailed information is needed, probably you will be passing on. You will be requesting your team to talk, to interact, and you will be giving chance to all the team members who are there with you. So ideally the presentation should be that way. But it depends on your style also, right? It is not at all a thumb rule that you go along in a team. The preliminary discussion can be done by you alone, right? You can go alone and talk about it. And if you get stuck up somewhere, you can always say that I need second meeting where we can discuss the thing in detail. So that won't be consuming time of other team members. These are very small things, but it has to be considered. It has to be taken into account. Otherwise, see, we all know time is very precious. So starting something new, it has to be started as early as possible before your ideas trickle down into market. People come to know that such thing is going to happen. It's going to be wonderful. So chances is that your competitor is going to copy, right? Or else somebody will try to purchase you also. This is what happens, especially in edutech companies. Talking about Byju's, what Byju's has done? Byju's has they have done the acquisition of most of other, including Akash and all those type of, including toppers. So you as a team has to be very strong. That is very sure. Otherwise, you will be eaten away by the big player, by the big fishes, right? आपकी आइडिया तो बहुत अच्छी है, but लोगों को पता चल गया कि fine, he is having an excellent idea. The entire business plan is good. So and if you slow down and if you are very late, probably somebody will come out with the same idea, because see, the thing which you are thinking right now, there are plenty of people who are thinking in the same direction. अपने को लगता है कि idea मेरे पास ही है. I am the only entrepreneur, right? But a similar type of thing, because that's why there is a competition. And maybe even if your idea is not disclosed to somebody is parallelly working on similar line, and they may come out with the similar product. So this may happen, and this has happened earlier also. Particularly example of soft drink companies, right? I wanted to launch something as a cola, and other companies like Pepsi and Coca-Cola and Coke is a good example, right? Maybe they taste differently, but they are the competitors, right? They don't have any other competitor as such. But you have to be very quick and fast in all this thing. That is what I mean to say. If you slow down and if you are not able to convince properly, and if you are lacking funds, then probably you have to surrender. That is the only way, right? And I hope I am being followed up till now.
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Byju's example was perfect, sir.
Yeah, it is perfect. See, if you are not proactive, it is a good example. If you are not proactive, then you are going to be eaten away. And what they have done, they have overtaken almost all sort of edutech companies. Maybe they are not ethical at a time also, but that is a matter of debate, right? They are not ethical in their promotion also. Even I personally had that experience when it comes to my, because my son, he was,
when the employees are feeling they have their own goals and they have their own problem.
Exactly. See, employees are exploited, even parents for that matter.
Parents, yes, sir. Mentally they are misleaded.
They are confused rather than convincing. See, their strategies. See, I'm not against Byju's or something, but that's a fact. You can see plenty of articles.
Yes,
Their philosophy is very simple.
Yes, sir, I read it.
Their philosophy is, if you are not able to convince, then confuse the parents. So, and in fact, it did happen with me also. Psychological, they will, because see, we know our all investment goes in our son and daughter, right? Most of the parents, they are very, very worried and very keen of the career, right? Everybody wants their son or daughter to be IAS, doctors, engineers, right? So everybody would like to spend the whatever they can afford, the maximum they can afford. They'll avail the loan, right? They'll do what not, but they'll see to it that their ward get the best of best inputs, and which is not true, because my example proves that my son, he was dead against it. I was very keen to purchase it. He said no, and he secured in spite of COVID being going down. He was in 12th. 2 years he was sitting on and he scored 98 in his CET. So it was not needed, and he studied it properly because he knew what was his requirement as a customer. He was sure what are his needs and wants. Right? We're talking about business plan.
They explored the market opportunity.
Yeah, they have explored. And see, I think, we should request the government, the way China has done. They have banned all these edutech companies. They are all startups. We all know it. Since our subject is startup, they have banned it almost a year's time, years ago. एक डेढ़ साल पहले they have banned all those E2 tech company. They are saying that it is disturbing the traditional educational line, their traditional educational establishment, and that is same what is happening in India also. Their employees are underpaid, they don't have regular teachers, right? They are also underpaid, and they are exploiting only based on this E2 technology. They don't have proper system also to address the grievances of the students, their queries and doubts, right?
Correct.
Fine. Anyway, one more important question. Yeah, what will go in appendix in the business plan? What should ideally go, or whether appendix is at all needed or not needed? All of you know what is appendix? Talking about biological thing, appendix, we have a part in our body. We call it appendix, right? It is a part which is needed, right? But its utility is zero. Nobody knows why appendix is there, right? Many a time we have to undergo operation also. If it bursts out, but scientifically speaking, appendix do not have any utility as such. Like eyes we can see, like what ear we can hear, right? Hands we can use it for so many things. But appendix is something which is additional, in simple synonym, appendix which is additional, which is directly not related to the main body, main business plan. So what should ideally go in appendix? Anybody, Deva? What will you put in appendix? See, this all 8 points will be having a interlinking. There will be overlapping. They will be having a flow in it, right? But appendix is something which is usually given at the very last, right? Bibliography is given for research and all. Here bibliography is not needed because everything is original. You have done it on your own. So appendix will be there, and what should it include? A very simple question.
Synopsis, it will be a synopsis or a flow chart?
No, synopsis is something for yourself, right? Once you start developing this, first thing you can do is prepare a synopsis. कि क्या चाहिए मुझे? That is a rough draft, I would say. Rough draft of your project, right? Executive summary is putting all the business plan in a nutshell. So appendix is usually needed, and it is what it will include, like photograph, right, of your products, right, which may or may not go directly here, which may disrupt the flow or sequence, right? So appendix में आप additional डाल सकते हैं. You can put your resume also, right? Your team profile, which may go in company description, but in detail you can put it over here. Instead of disturbing the flow of the reader, कि आपने बहुत 10 पेजेस डाल दिया अपने resume आपके टीम के, तो obviously this will disturb the flow of the reader, right? Everything has to be very sequential, and it has to be very brief and short only. Not only executive summary. Executive summary in itself means it has to be everything has to be in nutshell. Everything has to be in points, right? But this thing also you cannot go in pages and pages. Like as I said, if my team is of 10 members, so ideally I should not put this resume of everybody over here. The detailed resume I can put over here in appendix. What I can put as a company description, I can put the company structure, where I can say that I am the CEO, my name is so and so, right, and my experience or my qualification is so and so. That's all, right? I can say my HR manager is so and so. He is having so much of expertise. That ideally a flow chart of the organizational structure should go. But appendix, you can put the resume of your entire team, the product details, right? Including, see here again, if there is product and service detail, here you can include to a larger extent. But आपको लगता है कि बहुत ज़्यादा pages हो रहे हैं, it is going to 40 or 50 pages, then you can cut it short, right? Because if the person goes till this end, then obviously he is going to read the appendix. That means he is interested. So we should not disturb the flow. We should not be, the reader should not be bombarded with too much of information over here. That is not going to be unnecessary, but that may unnecessarily consume the time, because he'll be more interested in knowing all this thing first, and probably if he is interested, he'll try to go through your detailed resume. Ananta is having so much of experience in this pulp industry, right? He has already worked with that organization. He has done his, he's having BSc chemistry, for example, or BSc biotechnology, for example. So all resumes, see everything and anything related to the to the business plan which is not going to disrupt, which is going to disrupt here, but you feel that it has to be included, so that should go in appendix. So we have to be very clear about this appendix also. Appendix में जरूर डालना चाहिए, क्योंकि appendix will be something at the last and you are not disturbing anybody, right? I am very keenly interested, so I'll obviously go to the appendix and I'll keep on reading that also, because I've liked your idea, I've liked your company profile, I've liked the market analysis you have done, the projection, financial projection you have done. So now I'll be interested in knowing more. So this is appendix is nothing but knowing more, giving additional information, right? So this is all has to be included, and this may take to what? Your project may go to 100 pages, it may go to 400 pages also. It depends what sort of venture you are planning to start. Okay. So this has to be very clear when you are going to venture out, when are you going to start an enterprise. Okay. So I hope everything is being followed today. Any question, any doubt?
No.
Okay, fine. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think Devang has left, I think.
Left.
Okay, anyways, he can see the video. I think he was in hurry, right? So, Ananta, again, we'll meet tomorrow at the same time, right?
Okay,
Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
goodbye and take care. Yeah.
Thank you.